Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Thank you so much for coming back to the podcast each and every time, and also making sure that you always follow me on a daily basis. Now, it looks like we now know who Arsenal's strikers and players on that forward line are going to be next season. We now know the names, and we now know that the deals have been agreed and they are done. We're going to be discussing that. Fabrizio Romano confirming that, of course, Nketiah is now an Arsenal player on a long-term contract, and also Goal.com Charles was confirming that the main pivot in Arsenal's attack, although more players are going to be incoming, but the pivot is going to be Gabriel. Deal are great. We have more confirmations of an agreement between Manchester City and a done deal on a couple of accounts that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. But of course, before we get into that, I'm going to ask you down in the comment section, what do you think about Gabriel Jesus as main striker and being backed up by Nketiah? Is that sufficient enough? Is that good enough for you? In my opinion, I will share with you what I think. But what do you think Nketiah backing up Gabriel Jesus? Is that good enough for you? Let me know in the comments below. Let's drive this video to 500 likes. Make sure you hit the like button when you watch, whenever you watch a video on YouTube, whenever you watch my video on YouTube, hit the like button. It massively helps out content creators on a daily basis. Subscribe to the podcast. The more numbers we get, on the podcast, the better we are and the bigger we are as a family. So hit the like button and subscribe to the podcast. Like I said, today we are only doing done deals, and also we are only doing confirmed news from big accounts. We're not doing small, we're not doing small stories, at least not today. Let's get into it. Let's start off with the confirmation of Nketiah now that has just been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. You can have a look right there. Fabrizio Romano confirming that this is an Arsenal update. Nketiah has just signed a new contract until June 2027. Deal completed and sealed today after verbal agreement days ago. Official statement coming up very, very soon. Nketiah turned down a couple of bids from German Bundesliga clubs and also Premier League clubs to stay at Arsenal Football Club. That is as per Fabrizio Romano confirming that Nketiah is a done deal, and of course everything has been signed. We're just waiting for Arsenal to give us the official announcement, which should come in the coming hours or even in the coming days. Right. So Nketiah signed, but before I get my opinion into this one, let's also look at the couple of stories confirming that yes, it is a done deal as well. Gabriel Jesus is going to be one of the main strikers. It's going to be the main striker actually at Arsenal Football Club. Of course, we can run down my Twitter handle here, right? And we'll have a great look at them. That is the first story, as quoted by Terry Flares, one of those football YouTubers having very, very big accounts confirming that we do have a done deal. Luis Enrique as well, ex player for Liverpool, ex player for Liverpool, Newcastle, Celta Vigo, Valencia, and Real Zaragoza as well. 227k followers on Twitter confirming that London calling for Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal and Manchester City have agreed a deal for Gabriel Jesus. Good signing by Arsenal. He is a very, very good player. Also confirmed there by Jose Enrique. But this one, lads, is the biggest one. This one is the one that I need us to look at. It's a really big one. Brazilian journalist Leonardo Beran, involved with the Brazilian national team, on Instagram. Gabriel Jesus is on his way to Arsenal. No more. That is it. That is it. On his way to Arsenal, no more. You can't believe that I'm not even following this guy. I've just given him a follow right now, right? So that is also Leonardo Beran, involved with the Brazilian national team, journalist involved with the Brazilian journalist working closely with the Brazilian national team as well, confirming that, look guys, this one is a done deal. No more. So we have 3 accounts now confirming that it is a done deal. There is an agreement between Manchester City and Arsenal. Of course, the bigger news, the bigger outlets, Sky Sports are following suit. Charles Watts and Goal.com are also following suit very, very steadily. And I can also confirm that the Guardian are also following suit very, very steadily. Now, Charles Watts has written a story today in his column in Goal.com, and he has just said, look, are we having on our hands 2 transfers that are going to be done and completed very, very soon? And he's actually said Fabio Vieira done and is. And this is very interesting because he says Gabriel Jesus next with a very, very big question mark. But then, when you look at the story and the quotes that are actually coming out of that story, it shows that the player is, the player is moving to Arsenal and there is an agreement. I also want to show you this. From Gay Global, confirmed that Arsenal are closing in on the signing of Gabriel Jesus after agreeing a deal with Manchester City worth around 58 million euros. Following daily conversations, Jesus' future is expected to be finalized by the end of the week. So, like I said, lads, this one is a huge week. I said this on Monday, and look, it's taking some time to come around. It's a week that has taken some time to come around, really. But like I said on Monday, for me it was always gonna be a huge week. You had Yuri Tillemans coming in, you had Gabriel Jesus coming in. We didn't know about Fabio Vieira, but at least we knew about Marquinhos, and we also knew about Nketiah confirmations this week. So it was always gonna be a big week, and it has really not disappointed. Right, so that is what we have in terms of confirmations that this deal is actually done and dusted. But I want to get you this as well, so that we are on the same page as we try to run through these Arsenal stories here on Cossy's Arsenal podcast. Hit that button. Now, this is Charles Watts. Arsenal are building a new look attack, with Gabriel Jesus set to be set to spearhead the attack. However, he potentially, and listen to this, however, he potentially will not be the only incoming, with Arsenal's interest in Rafinha being categorically legitimate. Now, those are 2 huge stories in one excerpt. You have Charles Watts. They're confirming. I think they do not want to. I don't know why they don't want to fully commit on this one, because it says Mikel Arteta is building a new look on the Arsenal, on the Arsenal attack. Gabriel Jesus said to be the one to spearhead, but then he says, however, he won't be the only one coming in. Now, that when you say he won't be the only one coming in, you're literally confirming that he's coming in. But then we have a few other names, a few other players that are going to be joining the club, and that's why for me, lads, I'm not playing this cat, race, mouse, what else, hen, all those domestic animals, in that game. I'm not part of the animal farm today in the game. This one, guys, is a done deal. With the fact that we've already got, huge confirmations from Sky, trying to push themselves closer to the situation. They don't want to lean to the fire. I don't know why, because for me this one is categorically true. But again, you understand them. They want to have that huge reputation, and at times they work very, very closely with the club. So I think that they're trying to give Arsenal that kind of amount of time to get these deals done. There's so many working and running together. Yuri Tillemans, Gabriel Jesus, Fabio Vieira, Nketiah, Aaron Hickey. So you have around 5 deals that Arsenal could close in, actually with Marquinhos. 6 players that Arsenal are trying to sign in a space of 72 hours. So I think it is Arsenal now trying to regulate what comes out in the media and what doesn't come out, and that is what happens with the big media, the traditional media and institutions like Arsenal, they're easily manipulated, they're easily controlled, because at all time, Arsenal can just use their influence and also use the money they have, the budget, to determine what comes out of Sky Sports. They can use the budget to get PR. They can use the budget to do anything they want. But my reaction about Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus, this is it. So let's get to it. One, Nketiah's contract is a surprise to me, was a surprise to me. Look, Mikel was always talking about how he loves the player, and how he's really working hard to get him sign a new contract. And I thought, look, shut up, bro. We don't need him anyway. But it looks like it has developed into something very, very huge, and the player has agreed to stay at the club. One thing I'm going to say with Nketiah is that I've seen that he's going to put on shirt number 14 at Arsenal Football Club. Don't do that. Honestly, look, the rest of the things can happen, but putting on shirt number 14 for Nketiah at Arsenal, that is something that I don't even dream about. I don't know if we should give him another chance. Mikel Arteta loves him. He trusts him. I don't know if it's a deal that Arsenal have gone, he's a good striker. We can be here for 2 more years, and if he's still disgruntled and he has a lot of things to worry about, then he can leave on a fee. If they don't want to keep him, they don't want to lose him on a free, and that's why they've given him a new contract. That is good business. But if he's going to stay as backup to Gabriel Jesus, first and foremost, they look at them as very similar players. Very, very similar. Nketiah's physicality is not there. I've seen him trying to work out in the gym, posting pictures. Not bad. But I think, he's as big as me. And also, I don't think he brings, that physical presence in the penalty area for Arsenal. I don't think he's a fox in the box. I think, being around there is one of the players that have really had to be playing against as a striker, because he's always running out off your shoulder, because he's always putting you on, under pressure, especially pressing very well. I think that's one of the things I like about him. He's always pressing, and we've seen a few goals. I think 3 goals this campaign coming out of his pressing, the defensive line of the opponent. We looked at the first goal against, was it Leeds United? Was it Leeds United? Yeah, I think it was Leeds United. And then we had Chelsea, the goal against Chelsea, as well. So, he's one of those players that can always be very, very attentive, trying to press and trying to, make sure that you win the ball back high up the pitch. That is so good. But I don't trust him getting us 15 goals per campaign. For example, if Gabriel Jesus gets injured, I don't see him as a striker that should be playing there on a regular basis. I've not yet come to come to agreement, come to terms with that. I've not yet done that. And then when I look at Gabriel Jesus is not a 20-goal machine. Yes, I've seen a story from Sky Sports writing about him and saying that he's going to be one of the very, very big, summer transfers for him. For if you talk about what the summer means for a player, because he's then going to gain from game time. He's one of those players that really don't want and don't agree with with Pep Guardiola's system of rotating players always, so that each and every name gets game time. But if he comes in at Arsenal, I won't be surprised if still the numbers do not go up. He's massively underscoring his XG. So if he still scores 17, 18, 19, 16, I won't be very, very surprised. And then trying to impact the other elements of the game, shot creating actions and goal creating actions as well from his part. So last season, scored 15 for them with 13 assists in all competition. So it shows you that he's one player that loves being on that front line, but also helping others. So if we get him, I think Nketiah, for me, not only are they kind of very similar, but Nketiah's goal tally is that as well. And that's why I wanted a player like Gianluca Scamacca. Gianluca Scamacca's goal tally is also around 15 goals, around 16 goals per campaign, but he brings in a different kind of dimension to the Arsenal attack, and he just provides us with something very, very different. Physical, tall, quick. He's a beast. He's a giant. So you can have Gabriel Jesus, who's a smart striker, and then when it all fails, when you want to play Manchester City and you want to knock them down, you want to turn the game physical, then you can turn to Gianluca Scamacca. That's why I wanted Scamacca desperately. But the new face of the Arsenal forward line is Nketiah and Gabriel. Cossy will be back. See you soon.